click the record button, and then say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
Hey, not much. How about you?
I'm well. I'm well. Back at it, huh? A classic, tried and true. Kurogiri, dropkick slicer. They
Yeah,
love each
I
other.
haven't. Yeah, just something. I don't know. I like the deck list that you had, and there's a couple cards that I think can make this maybe not better, but dumber.
Sure. So hit me with a pitch. This deck looks pretty familiar. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, so it's mostly the at least from what I remember, mostly the deck that you were playing before, where it's just Kurogiri with kicks and trying to play 5 or 6 attacks in one turn, clearing your card pool with the acceleration kick, using dropkick slicer to draw a bunch of cards, and yeah, you just draw a bunch because your attacks do almost no damage. But one of the cards that was interesting to me was Relaxed Demeanor, with the Hawks Foundation, that lets you dump a attack from your deck, and then so you can dump like a dropkick slicer or a acceleration kick from your deck. Use Dissolving the Conflict, put it on the bottom of your deck, and then use your character, put it on top of your deck, and then use one of your draw cards to pick it up. So it's just a roundabout way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you just tutor your deck for something specific.
Well, that's fucking cool. Oh, my eyes got so wide. You know who Phil Birch is?
Hmm.
He is a
Yeah.
huge Relaxed Demeanor fan. He loves this card, and he's a huge Kurogiri fan. I am very excited as soon as I get off of this call to show him these 4 cards. I think you're gonna make his day for locals. Actually, I think you've officially done. I'll give you all the credit. This is a cool find, man.
Like, I don't know what it does. I mean, just because order attacks don't really do a whole lot outside of kicks, you just don't have enough draw power. I mean, I guess order has some of it. I looked at evil, but you just don't have any consistent draw power.
Sure.
And so it feels kind of bad where you're playing kicks, and then you want to play a bunch of 1s and 2s because they're solid foundations, but then you're playing 1 and 2 checks, and so it doesn't feel like it's going to be super stable. But as like a locals deck or just messing around, seems like it can be really degenerate when it works, and then when it doesn't, you just throw your hands up, and it's not your fault, it's your deck's fault.
Yeah. This is really, really cool. I like this a lot. This is neat. Okay, so I guess I get to go do some exploring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Did we get any kicks in the new set? No.
Nope.
We got none. Okay.
No, it's real sad.
That's helpful. Any cool accents and assets from the new set? Lover mode, sure. Gold Tips Imperial, sure. La Brava is neat. We share Order Void with a lot of these things, so that's just like plus speed. And then like ripping a card out of their hand is kind of cool. Remove discard 2 momentum. What an insanely high cost for this ability. They reveal their hand, remove a card revealed this way, gains all enhanced abilities printed on the removed card. I mean, that's messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is messed up, but man. I guess Fierce Wings is cool. Fierce Wings, add a card difficulty 3 or less from discard bottom of my hand. None of my attacks are, right? You're all 4s.
Mm-hmm.
So adding, no, I can't add Runaway. Plus Ultra. This card's so neat. Alright, sorry. Getting distracted. He's still fighting. You have 2 less health. The next attack you try to play ignores progressive. That's really cool with this card, huh?
Yeah, that was one of the things that made it seem like it was interesting, because Dissolving the Conflicts works in that same window of 10 or less health.
Yeah.
So with your character and Dissolving the Conflict, when you get to 10, you have a lot of defense, and then He's Still Fighting lets you play Acceleration Kick on either a 3 or a 5 or a 3 if it's following the Rising Engine Kick, and so you can, at least with the foundations available, and on paper, if you're playing against yourself, you can what am I trying to say? Like, you can do a lot of things. But to get the deck to really work, I feel like so many of the foundation slots, especially like the high difficulty, like the 2 difficulty foundation slots, are already taken up, and there's just not a lot of room for defense, it seems like. You get Dissolving the Conflict and Ice Gliding and Tape, maybe, if you even have room for the 1 diffs, and so that's where I'm just not entirely sure of how to not just die on turn 2, or even just like some of like the evil Shigaraki 3 that I know has been really popular, just from what I've seen around, like that just kind of locks you out of the game pretty easily when you're trying to play so many attacks in a row. Guess just not sure like how to not, like it seems like the deck is already, like it wasn't, competitive because it was already struggling to do the thing on it, on its own without tripping over its own feet. And so I guess I'm not sure how to try and clean it up so it's a little bit more consistent.
So I think the big thing here, right, is I think that this is really neat, but I think it's not worth the 4 of, right? Okay. This is a cool find. I think I would probably just leave it at the 3 of at the time. I think 3 of is probably where I would leave it. Because and keep this one at the 4 of, and it's cool. I prefer he's still fighting. I think this card is actually really, really cracked in this deck. I would push this up to the 4 of, right? And like figure out what like this is a 3-card combo piece.
Right.
as opposed to like this is just, oh no, I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm just gonna play harder, cooler, more awesome stuff. Right? Like it's really, really good. I like that a lot. I really like 1-mana Inferno in here. Is there any chance like we make 1-mana Inferno your finish, like a 2/2 split?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with that. I put 1-mana Inferno in there as a 1 of, just as kind of like a placeholder, just so that way if you find like a 5 on the bottom and a 3 on top, you put the or whatever, you can just get the attack out of the way.
Yes.
And it's also spam when you're playing 1-checks. And you're finished. I had that at a 4 of just because it has the deadlock's not great, but it's not worthless. Like it can be useful. The block is a little rough, but because you can use relaxed demeanor to dump an attack, if you have like a Recipro Extend, you can dump a Recipro Extend and then use your finish to draw a card, and then do the thing where you stack it and pick it up or whatever. Like because you get to sculpt your discard pile a little bit better, it seemed like it would have a little bit of value, but what am I trying to say? But I think putting it to a 3 of makes sense because you're right. That's a lot of. It's not just like a 1-card thing that works for the character. You're talking about our 2 or a 3-piece, set like pairing of cards.
Enhance, flip 2 foundations, draw a card. Doesn't sound great. Like it doesn't sound awesome. It sounds like a thing that like.
Oh, you mean like with the relaxed demeanor?
Yeah, if you relaxed demeanor flips, you're finished. Flips.
Yeah, I was thinking of it more of as just kind of like a incidental bonus. But I guess you're right. I mean, if I'm playing like a Recipro Extend or a High Engine Kick where I can guarantee the draw, that's not the one I want to dump. I want to dump the Acceleration Kick or the Drop Kick Slicer.
Right. Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where it is. We're at 18 attacks. Not a lot of high blocks. Let's go see if there's what we have high block wise, foundation wise. I saw that we had what's a symbol in this deck, and I think that's really, really neat. I like this a lot in here. I'm not positive exactly what to cut at the moment, but this is super cool.
What about it is interesting? Is it the free damage or is it the removing the discard pile?
Both. I think that this card is, in most cases, really, it's slept on because an accidental, like if I have 2 of these out, I just negate an attack, right?
Okay.
An attack is just gone, right? And in my 19 health, I don't necessarily want to block everything character. That's really good. Like this amount of DR, just like with 2 of them out, I negate an attack. With 3 of them out, I negate Recipro Burst. Like if you don't like or Recipro Acceleration Kick, I just negate that card. That card's like, it's not a thing. And I've lost foundations. I don't care about foundations, right? Like I just don't care. As well as it does like it will do just as well of a job of like messing with like relaxed demeanor stuff or your finish stuff as those 2 cards when it comes to moving, dissolving, or whatnot, right? Because yeah, I want to put Drop Kick Slicer on the bottom, but if I put any of these on the bottom, I think it's gonna be good, right? Like I think it's not that big. Like I think it's powerful. So maybe the answer is actually I am supposed to play only 2 he's fighting and we just like slam this up to a 4 of, right? We're at 62. This is maybe that is too many. I think we might have too many mid blocks.
Yeah, I was a little high on the mid blocks, but a lot of the foundations seem to be like the mid block foundation seems to be kind of like hard to remove. But I figure with tape, like instead of trying to fix block zones necessarily, you can kind of tweak tape to match. I guess I don't know if it necessarily works that way, but I figure with tape that at least gives me a little bit of wiggle room, and then my character, like if you play a high attack, I can, or like if you play a tongue whip or something like that, I can throw that away, go find a mid attack, or find whatever I have a block zone for.
Sure.
That's not gonna ruin me. I can try and put that in your hand instead.
That's fair. That's fair. I almost want to take like calling for backup down by 1, just because we never get to just really go positive on it. Like, yes, it is the thing to do, right? Like this is the thing that I want to do. But you also just like you have triple passing to do that as well, and like you also have just like you have draw here and draw here, and you've got like drop kick slicer to like do that same thing, right? Like draw, and then we also have passing and calling to do the thing as well.
Yeah, my thought with calling for backup
dissolving
is it's just a 1 diff that you just get a flip draw card, and so like earlier in the game, like if you're trying to build, especially because with the bad checks, and it at least from when I played it, what was it, set 4, set 5, somewhere around there. I mean, the deck really didn't change that much between that anyway, but it felt like you were kind of waiting for your deck to give you the cards, and you were trying to keep your attacks and save them and set up your deck in a certain way.
Yeah.
And so like drawing the extra card, like just having the free card, random card off the top instead of drawing 1, discard 1, seemed to provide a lot of value just to have that 8th card in your hand. And with playing 1 and 2 checks, just building, like I guess I was thinking maybe passing the torch would be the one to get cut, if anything, just because it's a 2, and that's can be dangerous to build, or not can be, is dangerous to build on turn 1.
Sure.
So I just wasn't sure, but I mean, I get what you're saying of I don't get to keep a card. I have to throw something away, and there's not a whole lot of value of me throwing anything in particular away.
So the other thing about this is passing torch can happen infinite times throughout the game. This is once per game, do the thing.
Right, and it's the same block modifier.
Same block mod, same. So like you're trading the 1 difficulty and the risk because of Slicer for I can do the thing on turn 10. You're not going to have this card on turn 10 unless you built it on turn 9, right? And so like you could build this on turn 2 when it is safe, right? Like nothing is saying that I have to start with passing. I as Kurogiri, I probably shouldn't be attacking on turn 2 anyways, right?
Yeah.
I'll on a 1, on a 1, on a 3, on a 3, on a 5. Okay, that was my turn. All right, I held double passing in my hand. All right, I'll draw them up. All right, passing. I can check 1s on both of these and be fine. It just really is like, how am I going to nobody's forcing you to play the passing on turn 1. And I prefer passing. At the same time, you could play it this way with a 3-3 split, and you make this 2, or you make this, and you figure it's bad. You go 2-4, and I don't think anything gets hurt. Right, and it still kept you at 60 here. I am a little nervous about this number being low. I think that this really is a, like I almost want to just like toss in 1 more Recipro Burst, just because it makes this a little healthier. And sometimes you just don't have to do the cute thing of like, oh, let me touch all my cards, and you're just like, well, I've poked you 3 times with a Recipro Extend. Burst, kill you, right? Like this is the best card to play after I've cleared my card pool. Just like, I'll just do the damn thing then. I'll just kill you with it. So,
yeah, and that makes sense. And then instead of trying to string out, or instead of every game being, can I play 6 attacks? Sometimes it's just Recipro Burst, and if you can't handle it, then I guess what I'm trying to say is there's 2 different ways to apply that, or to apply pressure.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And as soon as they see you check 1 of them, they're afraid of it for the rest of it, right? And so, like, when you drop kick Slicer and just, like, add 1 to your hand, you look at him and go, right? Could be another one.
And I guess with its response and stun 1, it's effectively a 5-low-5, which is not awful. I mean, it's not great, but it's serviceable.
Yeah, I mean, it just wears Extend really well. Like, I mean, there's a reason this card is, like, so good.
Yeah.
This card is a good card, and the only reason that people have stopped playing it is because of like the speed hate that or speed resets that can exist, right?
Yeah.
Things like Runaway or whatever. Like this card still should be killing a lot of people. Yeah, I like and like Reciprocal Burst. Like if you just like have it, man. What's a symbol? Just like this is an 8 damage move. Just whenever we want, it's like so good. This card just like tacking on the 2 damages. Wowzers, it's very strong. Yeah, I like this card. I like this card a lot. Does it have fire? It does not have fire. I was nervous. I was nervous that my Rapid deck was about to get really mean. Holy cow.
Oh, God. And then you don't even have to block that much more.
I don't have to block anything anymore. Holy cow. I was very scared. Okay. I like this. We polished it a little bit. How many games do you have with this guy? With this?
I haven't played it all yet. I haven't played for the past like month and a half or so. Just took a break because the new World of Warcraft season came out, so I took up all my time, and then
I get it.
Just wanting to get back into it, just play games with a dumb deck. So I haven't played it. It was just more of the idea of trying to get a second, or trying to get your insight on how valuable that relaxed demeanor pairing is and how well it fits with the other 2 new cards. I think those are the only new cards that are even in the deck anyway. But
yeah, just
wanted to get your opinion of what the value of those cards are and kind of what whether it should be 2s, 3s, 4s, whatever. So.
Sure. Yeah, I think this is very, very cool. It probably could even drop down to a 2 of eventually. Just because like it'll work when it works and it won't when it won't,
Yeah.
We'll have to see. All right. Yeah, stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list and have fun. Have fun warping people in locals. This deck's neat.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And again, if I lose, I'll blame the deck, and it's not my fault.
Dimple, you checked a 1. You could have seen that coming. All right, buddy. You have a good rest of your night.
Alrighty, thanks. You too.
See ya.